gbèjé o. Arábàfin lọ́ba ipa èmi ò mà rábàfin o jàre. Àwa olóyè o ekú mórí jáde o. Ìmọ̀ káwa ìmì ò ìmọ̀ kó lórí rẹ̀. Káwa ìmì ò ìkó lórí rẹ̀ o jàre. Káwa ìmì ò ìmọ̀ kó lórí ọba. Àrùbọ kókó wọ́n kẹrù bọ̀ o. Bàbá olórí rẹ̀ wọ́n kẹrù bọ̀. Wọ́n kẹrù bọ̀ o. Dádì wọ́n kẹrù bọ̀ o. Olórí rẹ̀ wọ́n kẹrù bọ̀ o. Olórí rẹ̀ wọ́n kẹrù bọ̀ o. Wọ́n kẹrù bọ̀ ẹrù bọ̀.
Futa is fully represented because the Deji of Akure Kingdom is the father of this university. Once again, we welcome you to the Federal University of Technology, Akure, the best university of technology in Nigeria.
Please let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much for recognizing members of the Futa community who are here to be part of what we want to do. And most importantly, in a short while, the representative of the Vice Chancellor of Futa will be joining us here. But also we have some KBACs who are already seated, and it's just natural that we do the recognitions of our KBACs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the Akakmisha of Ikmisha, His Royal Majesty Oba Olu Falae Omoni. Ẹjẹ́ àṣẹ kábíyèsí o. Ẹjẹ́ àṣẹ kábíyèsí o. His Royal Majesty Oba Peter Adeoye Adeleye, the Alaye of I is here. Kábíyèsí, you are most welcome. His Royal Majesty Oba Barrister Gbenga Ojo, the Iralepo of Isiko. Kábíyèsí, you are most welcome. Princess Mokwelola, the Regent of Oda, is also here. We have already seated Oba Olu Falae, Olowo of Owo. Kábíyèsí, thank you very much for joining us. Still taking recognitions, we have one of the discussants here this beautiful morning, Chief Joe Kiari Gazama, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. A beautiful round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. A former Federal Permanent Secretary is here of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Olusade. A beautiful round of applause for him too. Thank you. Chief Edi Olafeso is also very much around. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. We have with us Chief Olu Adekunle Ajanaku. A beautiful round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Chief Dr. Adeleke Adedipe is also very much around. A beautiful round of applause, please.
In line with recognition of dignitaries, I'd like to warmly welcome Chief Dr. Adeleke Adedipe. A warm round of applause for him, please. In our midst this morning, we also have Professor Segun Ojo. He is the Chief Medical Director of Futa Teaching Hospital. A warm round of applause for him. Thank you, Professor, for coming. We also have humbly seated here in our midst the chairman of the planning committee of this 10th Coronation anniversary, Mr. Femi Meshe, and his amiable wife. A warm round of applause for them. Thank you very much for coming, sir. We also have here this morning Air Commodore Wale Ogunmodede, retired. A warm round of applause for that officer, Air Commodore Wale Ogunmodede. Thank you very much for coming. He is a retired Air Commodore. We appreciate you for coming, sir. Major General A.I. Akintade, retired. We have quite a handful of officers here. Thank you very much, Major General, for coming. And finally on that list, we have Rear Admiral S.I. Alade, retired. Rear Admiral S.I. Alade. Ẹ jẹ́ ká pàtẹ́wọ́ fún wọn. Ó dẹ̀ ń pọ́n yìnbó yẹn ò attract àtẹ́wọ́. Àkúrẹ́ òye. Kábíyèsí o. Ìdọ̀bálẹ̀ là ń kọ́ba. Mo kí yín kábíyèsí. Thank you very much. I see that we have quite a handful of traditional rulers here this morning. I also would like to warmly welcome Dr. Mrs. Oshin. She is the Chief Learning Officer and the proprietor of Mommy's Play School here in Akure. Thank you very much, Mama, for coming. And so I'd like to state clearly here that it is a time to celebrate the traditional institution, especially the one that we're having today, that is the state capital of Ondo State. Akure, indeed, is a land that is flowing with milk and honey. I can attest to that because I know that in Akure town today, I stand as the tallest lady in Akure town. A warm round of applause for Kimo. Bear fair on me, bear fair on me. I see Ondo State Women Wing of the Iyomo family. Odatiwa. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you. I know for a fact that they're here to celebrate with Kabiesi. Thank you very much for your attention. And so I also would warmly welcome the Permanent Secretary of FCTA. He's retired, Sir Adeshola Olusade. A warm round of applause for Sir Adeshola Olusade. Thank you very much. And for as many other dignitaries that we have, remember we're all special here today. Thank you very much for making up time to celebrate with the Deji of Akure, the paramount ruler of Akure Kingdom. Thank you very much, Kabiyesi Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, Odundun II, CFR. Ẹ ṣé Kábíyèsí o. Kábíyèsí o. Kádé pẹ́ lórí, kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. We appreciate you all for coming. For those who are indigene of Akure, it is a time for celebration. And I know at this colloquium today, there'll be moments where we have to recognize a few more guests and also to introduce to us some of our discussants as soon as they arrive this venue. Thank you for your time and audience. Please ensure that you're comfortably seated. And when the goodies arrive, I would do well to let you know. Thank you very much. A warm round of applause for ourselves.
Still taking recognitions, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Bob Bagunwa of Ilara here. Please let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Adeleke Adedepo, thank you very much for being here. As I announced the other time, we are expecting the keynote speaker, who happens to be the #1 citizen of Oyo State. His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde will be joining us in a jiffy. But then before Mr. Governor steps into this hall, permit me to recognize the presence of members of his entourage who are here. I will be starting the recognitions from the Chief of Staff to the Oyo State Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Honorable Segun Ogunwuyi. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. We have also from Oyo State, the Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, Honorable Ademola Ojo. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We have the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning in Oyo State, Professor Musbao Babatunde. Thank you for joining us, Prof. Also, another professor in the cabinet of Oyo State. We have Honorable Commissioner for Energy, Professor Kayode Shongodoyin. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman of all chairmen of local government in Oyo State is also here, Honorable Sikiru Sonda. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to Akure, the capital city of Ondo State. We also have with us the Chairman, Civil Service Commission of Oyo State, Alhaji Kamarudin Aderibigbe. A beautiful round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming, sir. Also seated, we have the Chairman, Governing Council, and Pro-Chancellor, Ladoke Akintola University, Lautech, Ogbomosho, Professor Deji Omole. A beautiful round of applause for the Pro-Chancellor. Interestingly, I finished from Lautech, so it feels good to see the Pro-Chancellor. Thank you very much for coming, sir. Very soon, Mr. Governor will be joining us here, but then it's just proper for us to start with the opening prayer. And to lead us in the opening prayer, may I bring forward the Dean of the Cathedral, Venerable Okpe Kujero. A round of applause, please.
We give you thanks, honor, adoration, our Father in heaven. Was one cannot receive anything except given to someone from above. We thank you for this day in which we are gathering together to commemorate the 10th year coronation of our Oba Gbadegesin, His Imperial Majesty Oba Dr. Aladelusi Ogunlade, Deji of Akure. We thank you for discussion this morning, in which we are ruminating upon the works and the services of our traditional leaders in our society. We thank you for those who have called one way or the other to lead the discourse, and we commit everything to Fatherly care, because nothing we can achieve without your presence. So we invoke your divine presence into our midst in this event, that you take preeminence in everything we are going to do today in Jesus' name, so that at the end of all things, your name will be glorified, our nation will be blessed. For it is written, when I'm gray-headed and I'm old, give me grace that I may show you to the generation coming behind. This is one of the things we are discussing today. Father, grant us grace that all we are going to discuss we may assimilate, and we may impart, and even help our nation to move forward. This and many other blessings we ask for, through the precious name, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. Thank you very much, Venerable Okpe Kujero. Moving on quickly this morning, I'd like to invite the State Cultural Troupe to serenade us, Akure South Cultural Troupe, to serenade this audience in a moment. Time is of the essence. You have 10 minutes.
Òní lọ́dún rẹ̀ ò jàre. Kábíyèsí ọmọ ọwọ́ ọlọ́mọ wa jíjẹrẹ sí. Aladetoyinbo ni mo máa mọ̀ ní kí o. Mi ò ní lọ́dún rẹ̀ ò jàre. Kọ́ba ṣòní lọ́dún rẹ̀ wẹ̀mẹ̀ra yayọ̀ ọmọ náà. Wẹ̀mẹ̀ra ṣàrí bẹ́gbẹ̀rẹ̀ pékè o. Kòjò bá ti mọ̀rọ̀ eruku akulẹ̀ lẹ́lẹ́. Kàlábà ti dùn wá ṣe láàfún ní. Aladetoyinbo Olúwa ò fèrè ọmọ fún o. Àìjàre òjò bá ti mọ̀rọ̀ eruku akulẹ̀ lẹ́lẹ́. Ìjàre kàlábà ti dùn wá ò ṣe láàfún ní. Kábíyèsí Olúwa fèrè ọmọ fún o. Kábíyèsí ọmọ wa ọlọ́mọ wa jíjẹrẹ sí. Ogun lérí eṣi ọmọdún obìnrin jẹ́. Ọbọlọmọ mẹ́sàn pín. Èrù ọba ni mo mọ̀ bá aládé orí o. Kété kábíyèsí kétékété ni mo kí lórí ìjókòó. Ìmọ̀kú ọ̀rọ̀ ìmọ̀kú ọdún o. Àlà o àlà, àlà ni mo rò. Akápinṣà, bàbá olóríire o bàbá ọmọ. Kábíyèsí, kábíyèsí, mo mórí balẹ̀ fọ́jú ni lọ, mo mórí balẹ̀ fórí adé. Àlà o àlà, àlà ni mo rò. Ukú mọ̀ dájọ́ ìpàlàlà, mo ròde o. Èrù ọba ni mo bà, mo kórì adé o. 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 Aladetoyinbo bàbá ọmọ. Wà jẹjẹrẹ wájú. Òpó ọba ti rì mọ́lẹ̀. Mo kórì adé o. Mo kórì adé o. Ọba ni mo bà, mo kórì adé o. Mo kórì adé o. Owó náà mẹ ìpè lóye mẹ́kun o. Owó náà mẹ ìpè lóye mẹ́kun o. Àkúrẹ́ lómi méjì ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀jì lálá o. Àlàkàn ìgbérí àlámòdó mi ọmọ. Owó ọlọ́mọ ọlọ́jà méjì kan iná lọ́rẹ̀ já. Àná mórí tagun àná mèsì àná yé o. Owó náà mẹ ìpè lóye mẹ́kun o. Owó náà mẹ ìpè lóye mẹ́kun o. Owó náà mẹ ìpè lóye mẹ́kun o. Kété Àkúrẹ́ kétékété lúlé lóko ni mo kí pátápátá. Mẹ́mọ̀ lólòdì ẹnìkan ò mo kí ikú jókòó. Iná mẹ ìpè lóye mẹ́kun o. Iná mẹ ìpè lóye mẹ́kun o. Òye ni mo ti yá o. Òye lúlé o. Òye lúlé ọmọ o. Àṣẹ ìṣàmọ́dún ò kábíyèsí. Àṣẹ ìṣàmọ́dún ò wá jẹjẹrẹ wájú. Òye lúlé o. Òye lúlé ọmọ o. Mi yá o yá o ìyá o lórí ọmọ. Mọ̀ yá o yá o ìyá o lórí ire. Mọ̀ yá o yá o ìyá o lórí ọmọ. Yá o yá o ìyá o lórí ọmọ. Mi ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ìlàkà ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ òmògbìrè mi dé o. Èsùkú apààyàn ayé mọ́. Èmọ̀sùkú àgbòlù yìí lẹ́yìn rí. Ìlàkà ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ òmògbìrè mi dé o. Ìlàkà ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ òmògbìrè mi dé o. Ìlàkà ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ òmògbìrè mi dé o. Àkàrà olùlé o, mo dà kò di mo ṣe kàre. Kàrà olùlé o, mo dà kò di mo ṣe kàre. Olùlé ibi ká o. Olùlé ibi ká o. Olùlé ibi ká o. Òní lọ́dún rẹ, lọ́dún rẹ, òní lọ́jọ́ ayọ̀ rẹ. Ọmọ káwo kábíyèsí, àpàrà àpàrà. Lọ́dún rẹ, lọ́dún rẹ, lọ́dún rẹ, òní lọ́dún rẹ. Orí o ṣe mí lùkà o, mọ́mọ́ jáyé ṣe mí o. Mọ́mọ́ jáyé ṣe mí o. Ṣe mí lùkà o, mọ́mọ́ jáyé ṣe mí o. Ṣe mí lùkà mọ́mọ́ jáyé ṣe mí o. Mọ́mọ́ jáyé ṣe mí o. Mi ṣe láyàyọ̀ àwẹ̀ ò ṣe láyàyọ̀ ara. Ṣe láyàyọ̀ àwẹ̀ ò ṣe láyàyọ̀ ara. Èyí lájẹ́ yèyí ọmọ ò apọ́nbẹ́pọ̀rẹ́ òyeye olóríire. Èrèlú ọlọ́jà Àkúrẹ́ kété ìwọ ni mo mọ̀ kó ní kí. Ìyá alájẹ́ lúlẹ̀ ní àbóròdé ìwà dúmáradá òye iye ọmọ. Èmi ṣe láyàyọ̀ àwẹ̀ ò ṣe láyàyọ̀ ara. Yèyé ògè lúlẹ̀ ní àbóròdé ìwà kúrú yẹjọ́ òyeye olóríire. Àmì ṣe láyàyọ̀ àwẹ̀ ò ṣe láyàyọ̀ ara. Ṣe láyàyọ̀ àwẹ̀ ò ṣe láyàyọ̀ ara. Ọ̀rìnrún ọ̀rìnrún o. 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 Ọmọ kàájọ bí 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 o. Olóòtú o, ó tún yẹ. Olóòtú àwẹ̀. Olóòtú o. Àwẹ̀ tún kí mi rí a. Kọjá àgbàdì àgbàdì kọjá ìgbò. Túlọ́tọ̀ kọ́ irọ́ ṣùgbọ́n ulẹ̀ bàbá mi o. Ó tún yẹ o. Olóòtú o. Olóòtú o. Olóòtú o. Àwẹ̀ mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde o. Mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde o. Mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde. Mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde o. Mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde. Mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde o. Mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde o. Èyí lẹ́sàrẹ́ òye yẹ ọmọ. Elúlé ni àbóròdé o. Èyí lóbìnrin òye yẹ olóríire. Elúlé ni àbóròdé o. Ìmọ̀súnmọ́ mi síbẹ̀ yìí o. Ìsúnmọ́ ni làámọ̀ ṣí á ní. Olórí àbá mi síká. Pẹ́ lóde o. Mọ̀mọ́ pẹ́ lóde o. Mọ̀mọ́ pẹ́ lóde o. Mọ̀ pẹ́ lóde o. Kábíyèsí Ọlọ́wọ̀ ọmọdé. Orí rọ́ṣẹ́ wa ni o. Kábíyèsí Ọlọ́wọ̀ ọmọdé. Orí rọ́ṣẹ́ wa ni o.
Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ olúkà máa rè àfẹ́lẹ́ orí rẹ̀. Àmà náà ọmọdé àwọn ọmọ kẹ́kẹ́ o. Àmà gúnyàgàlè lọ́nà òpèpè mẹ́mà o. Àkàtà ẹlẹ́gbọ̀n ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọdé. Àmà joko bọ́lọ̀kù ọ̀sàgbè. Àmà lógún jó ogún yín mọ́. Àmà lọ́gọ̀dọ̀ ẹlẹ́wọ̀jú ràkúràkúràkúràkúràkúràkúràkúràkú o. Ìyó tó wá yọ ni o. Mo kí kábíyèsí o, agbádùnwáyé òdìgò. Apẹ̀pẹ̀ lọ́dún mìíràn kù. Kẹ́bá mìíràn kù á gbé sí yọ̀ngọ́. Àkàtà ẹlẹ́bọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Àmà ogún jó ogún yín mọ́. Láwọn ọmọ ọlọ́gọ́dọ̀ ẹlẹ́wọ̀jú ràkúràkúràkúràkúràkú ò bá mi. Àṣẹ náà ìmẹ̀kọ̀ jẹ̀rẹ̀ olóko. Ìmẹ̀kọ̀ yẹn ṣe dìgbà wéwé o. Kábíyèsí ò wá pọ́ lórí oyè ìbàrá. Wẹ́mẹ̀rẹ̀ kú lọ́mọdé ọba mi o. Wẹ́mẹ̀ àpàpà yàdàgbà súyà. Orí adé ò mọ kíá. Agbófinró yóò wí tèmírà ọba mi. Gẹ́dẹ́gẹ́dẹ́ aláwọ̀ gbìjà kẹmẹ́ mi fúnra wú kẹrú. Wọ́n pẹ́ bó ní pápá sí pẹ́. Ìmẹ̀kọ̀ jẹ́rẹ́ olóko. Ìmẹ̀kọ̀ pẹ́ ò bà mí o. Oyin mẹ́kàn o. Oníjà àyà òmèmè yókò. Mẹ́mẹ̀ yókò òmèmè yókò. Kábíyèsí òmèmè yókò. Wẹ́rẹ́rùyà lórí ọmọ, wẹ́rẹ́rùyà dábọ̀. Wẹ́rẹ́rùyà dábọ̀. Wẹ́rẹ́rùyà dábọ̀. Wẹ́rẹ́rùdòdò ṣá. Wẹ́rẹ́rùdòdò ṣá o. Àwọn olúwa yóò mọ kí ọ. Kábíyèsí o, ọmọ pákánpá. Ọmọ gúnmù kọ̀mù òmòmò kí ọ. Ọlọ́pàá kẹrí ní ọdọ̀ omi rọrọrọrọrọ. Ọ̀pọ̀ kẹrí ní ọdọ̀ jẹ́ omi ọ̀hà ò dábọ̀ o. Dọ́dọ̀ yàwó mi á ṣe èyí tó o. Wọ́n rà ròdòdò ṣá. Ọdọọdún là máa ríra o. Pèrèpèrè o, ọdọọdún là máa ríra wa. Wọ́n rà ròdòdò ṣá. Wọ́n rà ròdòdò ṣá. Wẹ́rẹ́rùdòdò ṣá. Pẹ̀rẹ́pẹ̀rẹ́ lọ́jọ́ iyọ̀ ọdọọdún là máa ríra ọmọ òye o.
Ẹja fún ọ látẹ̀wọ́ o. The cultural troupe from Akure South local government. Wọ́n ti ṣe gudugudu méje àti yàyà mẹ́fà ń bí. Àtẹ̀wọ́ fún ọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Akure South cultural troupe. Ẹ bá mi pàtẹ́wọ́ fún nílùú wa. Àyàngalú, thank you very much. A warm round of applause for this fantastic drama. I'm proud to be a woman today. Ẹ bá mi pàtẹ́wọ́ fún wọn. Ó ṣẹlẹ̀. Thank you very much. We appreciate the wife of the chairman of the Central Planning Committee. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much for making us proud as women. Thank you very much. The amiable wife of the chairman of the Central Planning Committee, Iluyewo Lara. Thank you very much. Moving on now, I'd like to invite to the microphone as we're going to be taking the series that we have of Goodwill messages today. I'd like to warmly welcome to the microphone the Deputy Vice Chancellor Development of FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure, Professor Sunday Oluiyamo. A warm round of applause for Professor as he steps forward to the microphone to deliver his goodwill message. Ẹ jẹ́ ká pàtẹ́wọ́ fún wọn.
The Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Alhaji Shetima, hereby represented, the Executive Governor of Ondo State, ably represented at this occasion, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, His Imperial Majesty Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, Odundun II, CFR, the Deji and paramount ruler of Akure land. Chairman of today's occasion, His Royal Majesty Oba Olu Falae, CFR, GCON, Royal Father of the Day, Oba Dr. Ajibade Gbadegesin Ogunoye III, Kábíyèsí the Olowo of Owo Kingdom. Kábíyèsí, may I use you as point of contact to all other royal fathers for want of time and other referred dignitaries at this occasion. I bring special felicitation from the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adedayo Afe, FAS, the very first female Vice Chancellor of this great institution and the 8th substantive Vice Chancellor as well, to Kábíyèsí on this special occasion. Kábíyèsí's fatherly and royal recognition of Madam Vice Chancellor has attracted further recognitions. As I speak to this gathering, the Vice Chancellor has been recognized as one of the 50 most distinguished alumni of the University of Ilorin on its 50th anniversary of its establishment. The Vice Chancellor, Madam Adedayo Ogunlade FAS, has requested that I present the goodwill message of the university on her behalf. Goodwill message of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, to His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, Odundun II, CFR, Deji of Akure Kingdom, on the occasion of the 10th Coronation anniversary. It is with joyful hearts that the Governing Council, management, staff and students of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, join Your Majesty to celebrate the goodness of God in the last 10 years that Your Majesty has been on the throne of your forebears. We join Your Majesty's subjects at home and the diaspora to express gratitude to God for a decade to remember. It has been a decade of peace and prosperity in Akure Kingdom. Very specifically, it has been a decade of manifest impact of the palace on Futa, most especially on our much-loved medical program. We join Your Majesty to express profound appreciation to the giver of life, preserver of thrones, the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, for the peace that is reigning in Akure Kingdom against a rather dull picture in some other towns and cities in Nigeria. We pray that the reign of Your Majesty shall be long and distinguished with glorious accomplishments for your esteemed self and Akure Kingdom. Kade pẹ́ lórí, kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ adókínní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Hearty congratulations, Professor Adedayo Ogunlade, FAS Vice Chancellor. Your Majesty, sir. Your Majesty, sir. We present our publication in the national dailies to you on this occasion. This is Guardians this morning. That is our special presentation.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You know, Futa is my first university after Mina. Yeah. so I wish you well. I wish you well, and I wish the school well. The school will be moving forward. In Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was the representative of the Vice Chancellor of FUTA. Chairman Central Planning Committee, sir, please lead the team outside to bring in the keynote speaker. Before I bring in the discussants, let me respectfully recognize the presence of a former Commissioner for Agriculture here in Ondo State. Ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful round of applause for Dr. Olufemi Oyinsan. A round of applause. Daddy, you are most welcome. Thank you. In a short while, the Executive Governor of Oyo State will be joining us here, but we have already some of the discussants who will be sitting right behind us here. And the very first person I would like to bring up stage is Professor Adedayo Afe. He's one of the discussants here this beautiful morning. A round of applause for Professor Afe. Professor Adedayo Afe is one of the discussants here this morning. Of course, we have the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice here in Ondo State, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, CON-SAN. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Dr. Ajulo, you will be joining Professor Afe here as one of the discussants, sir. Thank you very much. Also to join that team, we have another accomplished journalist and political communications expert, Dr. Festus Adedayo. He's also one of the discussants here this morning. I don't know if Dr. Adedayo is already in the hall. Okay, he will join us shortly. And lastly, His Excellency Ambassador, God knows, Bolade Igali, Chairman Pandef, who will be joining the team virtually to do this. At this point, we hand over to the Emerald, and after that, the Governor of Oyo State will join us here, and the rest of the program will continue. Thank you. All right, while we await Mr. Governor and for the Emerald team to do their thing, we have a very long list from the People's Democratic Party in Ondo State, PDP Ondo State, who are also on the entourage of Governor Seyi Makinde. I recognize especially the other time, Dr. Deji of Akure. A beautiful round of applause for Dr. Deji of Akure. Yes, also we have His Excellency Otumba Omalade Oluwateru, former Deputy Governor of Ondo State. A beautiful round of applause. We have Right Honorable Chief Bakita Bello, State Chairman and former Speaker of Ondo State House of Assembly. We have Chief Clement Faboide Fabo. We have Honorable Olani Ogunboyi. A round of applause. Honorable Kemisola Adesanya, a round of applause too. Okay, I've just been informed now that your Oyo State Governor is stepping into this hall. Engineer Seyi Makinde, please let's be upstanding to welcome Mr. Governor into this arena. Once the governor steps in here, let's be upstanding, ladies and gentlemen, as a mark of respect to welcome Mr. Governor. And that will be followed by the national anthem, the state anthem, and of course, the Oyo State anthem.
2027. Omi tutu 2027. President Onoye. Omi títú.
Don't worry, move. As I said, once the governor is here, we take the national anthem, the state's anthem, and of course, the Oyo State anthem. His Excellency, Engineer Seyi Makinde, stepping into this arena now. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You can make your way to the stage to join Kabiyesi and other distinguished guests here.
We warmly welcome the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, FNSE. Thank you very much for coming to the city of Akure. We appreciate you for coming, Your Excellency. Please, whilst we're still upstanding, can we have the national anthem followed by the state anthem, the Ondo State anthem, and the Oyo State anthem? Thank you. National anthem.
Deus,
Thank you very much. You may be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, who is also the keynote speaker here this beautiful afternoon. It's a pleasure having you join us in Ondo State, and also to honor our dear Kabiyesi on this all-important occasion. Your Excellency, before your arrival, the representative of the Ondo State Governor is already here. He's seated next to you, and of course, is one of our pride here in Ondo State. That's the Secretary to the Ondo State Government. Your Excellency, you have seated next to you Dr. Taiwo Fashoranti. A round of applause one more time. That's the Ondo State SSG. Next to the SSG is another star boy in our cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, a proud son of the soil. A round of applause for the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ondo State. We have seated Dr. Kayode Ajulo, CON, We also have, Your Excellency, on the side of Kabiyesi, the representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Kashim Shettima, and that's no other person but the Special Advisor to the President on Economy, Office of the Vice President, Dr. Tope Fashua. Next on that list, we have the former Secretary to the Federal Government, who is now a traditional ruler in Ondo State. Your Excellency, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our very own Oba Olu Falae, the Olowo of Owo. Your Excellency, it will interest you to know that also seated here, we have the Chairman of the Ondo State Council of Traditional Rulers, His Imperial Majesty, the Olowo of Owo Kingdom, Oba Dr. Oba Gbadegesin Ogunoye III. That's the Chairman of the Ondo State Council of Traditional Rulers. And of course, Your Excellency, we have other distinguished Kabiyesis who are seated here.
His Excellencies, our Royal Fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on quickly today, I'd like to invite to the microphone, with the kind permission of the governor, the executive governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, FNSE. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And the representative of the executive governor of Ondo State, who is the landlord around town today, His Excellency Dr. Lucky Orimison Ayedatiwa, who is ably represented by the SSG, Dr. Taiwo Fashionroti. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much, lucky women. Thank you very much. Eshe Adukbe. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lucky women, thank you very much. Let's move on quickly. Time is of the essence. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite at this juncture to the microphone the Chairman, Central Planning Committee of today's event to deliver his welcome address. Join me to welcome Mr. Femi Meshe, the MD CEO of Inter Atlas Synergy Limited. A warm round of applause for Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll start by honoring the representative of Vice President, Alhaji Kashim Shettima, the Special Advisor to the President on Economy, Office of the Vice President, Dr. Tope Fashua. I'd like to welcome the host governor, who's ably represented by the SSG, Dr. Taiwo Fashoroti. Our keynote speaker, the man of the hour, the Oyo State Governor, His Excellency, Engineer Seyi Makinde, FNSE. I also like to welcome the Chairman, Ondo State Council of Traditional Rulers, the Olowo of Owo, Oba Dr. Gbadegesin Ogunoye III. Next is the Ondo State, the Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Olamide Olajuji. I also have here the Attorney General for Justice, Barrister Ajulo, SAN. Finally, I'd like to welcome the Deji of Akure, the chief host for today, Oba Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, CFR, the Odundun II, and not forgetting the chairman of today's occasion, Oba Olu Falae, GCON, the Olowo of Owo, and the Bobaniyo of Akure land. I'm not going to forget the royal fathers here today, and Regent. I welcome you all. Esheo, Ekudideo, Odukpelowonyo. Welcome to what I truly believe is the most important celebration our kingdom has hosted in decades. I humbly stand before you today wearing two hats. As chairman of the Anniversary Central Planning Committee, yes, but more importantly, as a proud son of Akure, who has watched our kingdom transform before my very eyes over the past 10 years. When we started planning this anniversary months ago, I thought we were simply organizing an event. But as our committee traveled across Akure, meeting with people, listening to their stories, I realized we weren't just planning a celebration. We were documenting a blessing. The blessing of what happens when a leader truly loves and cares for his people. To everyone who traveled here today from the four corners of the world, the UK, the States, thank you for proving that no matter where life takes us, Akure remains home. Your presence here shows that our KBAC, that its impact reaches far beyond this kingdom boundaries. To our royal fathers and traditional rulers who honored us with your presence, your support means everything. You remind us that good leadership deserves recognition and that unity amongst our traditional institutions makes us all stronger. And to every person here from Akure, from Alagbaka to Ijapo, from Okearu to Joka, this is your day. You are the reason we are celebrating. You are the ones whose lives have been touched, whose communities have been improved, and whose faith in leadership has been restored. I have to share something personal with you. 3 months ago, while visiting communities for our planning, I met an elderly lady in the market who grabbed my hand and said, "Tell your KBAC thank you. My grandchildren now have light to read at night." In that moment, I understood that today isn't about ceremonies or protocols. It's about gratitude from the heart of a people who know they are loved. Our program today reflects the journey we've traveled together. You'll hear testimonies that will move you, see exhibitions that will amaze you, and enjoy cultural performances that will make you proud to be from Akure. But most importantly, you feel the love and unity that our KBAC has built amongst us. To the younger people here, please pay attention today. What you are witnessing is how leadership should look: caring, committed, and connected to the people. This is your heritage, your standard, your inspiration for the future. As we proceed with today's activities, please let us pay attention to the words and insights that will be shared here today from our keynote speaker, keynote address, the panels discussing, and the remarks of our royal fathers. The purpose of this colloquium is to make us think about the future and parts we all can play in shaping and having that better future. I hope that by the end of the day, everyone leaves here with a sense of purpose about making our future a better one. Let me end this by saying 10 years ago, we had hope. Today, we have proof. Proof that traditional leadership matters. Their carrying governance works, and that when a king truly loves his people, blessings befall all. Welcome everyone to our family celebration. Let's make it memorable. Finally, I want to deeply appreciate all members of the Central Planning Committee and also members of respective subcommittees who have worked tirelessly both day and night to ensure the success of this four-day event. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and all the other members of the Central Planning Committee. Thank you very much for your efforts. With your kind permission, His Excellencies, Royal Fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone through quite a handful of acknowledgments of dignitaries that are present at today's event. But I would like to quickly welcome a few people who are also dignitaries here present today. They are members of the Oyo State People's Democratic Party, and they are all on the entourage of the governor of Oyo State. I'd like to warmly welcome Dr. Edi Olafeso. A warm round of applause for Dr. Edi Olafeso. I'd like to warmly welcome His Excellency Otuba Omolade Oluwateru. A warm round of applause for him. Thank you very much for coming. The Right Honorable Chief Bakita Bello. He's the State Chairman of Ondo State People's Democratic Party. Chief Clement Faboyede, the only Fabo. Thank you very much, Fabo, for coming. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. Honorable Olani Ogunbui, thank you for coming. Beg your pardon, Ogunbuji. Honorable Kemisola Adesoya is also here to welcome the governor. Mrs. Mercy Akinlami, thank you very much for coming. Mr. Lawrence Wogun, I'd like to also welcome in that same vein, Dr. Deji Asheni Sherare. That's a mouthful. Thank you very much for coming, sir. Barrister Wale Akindiose, thank you for coming. A warm round of applause for Mrs. Tolani Hassan Ishaku and all PDP local government chairmen, the ward chairman, women leaders, and youth leaders from Akure South, Akure North, and also from Ifedore local government. I'd like to especially welcome Barrister Olusheye Olujimi. Thank you very much for coming, sir. I'd like to humbly welcome Comrade Babatunde Daudu. A warm round of applause for the PDP family. And so I'd like to digress a little to welcome two aides to the Executive Governor of Ondo State, His Excellency, Dr. Lucky Orimison Ayedatiwa. I'd like you to join me to welcome the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State on ICT, Honorable Tomide Akinribido. Thank you very much for coming, sir. I think I also cited the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State on Security, Chief Olugbenga Atiba. Thank you very much for coming. Would like to invite to the microphone to
Yes, thank you very much. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we do not want to take much of your time. As I announced earlier, we have our discussants here. Dr. Festus Adedayo is also one of the discussants. Please, let's give him a round of applause. He's one of the senior journalists in Nigeria and, of course, a political communications expert and a proud son of Akure Kingdom. Dr. Festus Adedayo, he is to join Professor Adedayo Afe on stage. And as I also announced earlier, His Excellency Ambassador, God knows, Bolade Gali, the chairman of PANDEF, will be joining the conversation virtually. And as well, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ondo State, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, CON, is also one. Is also one of the discussants here today. Without wasting much of our time, because Mr. Governor definitely has a lot of things to attend to, we will be having the citation of the keynote speaker, and it's just natural to have Mr. Governor come on stage while I invite the PRO or footer to do justice to that. Mr. Governor, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde, is the keynote speaker here this beautiful afternoon. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My task is to read a brief profile of His Excellency. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A man imbued with the contemplation of a philosopher, the equanimity of a neurosurgeon, the dexterity of a scientist, the precision of an engineer, the patience of an entrepreneur, and the altruism of a statesman. His Excellency Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde is a transformational leader who is driven by the desire to see his people prosper and his state flourish. A product of the great University of Lagos, Akokoyaba, where he bagged a degree in electrical engineering in 1990. Governor Makinde was also trained at the Industrial Control Services in Houston, Texas, on safety shutdown system in 1998, and development of analytical competence for managing operations at the Lagos Business School in 1999. He later attended the G-Scoot Auto Control Training Center, Kent, England, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He was posted to Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria for his National Youth Service Scheme. On completion of his service, he was engaged as a pupil engineer by Shell. He served in different capacities, handling and partaking in several key projects between 1990 and 1992. From 1992 to 1997, he worked as a field engineer for Rebold International Limited. In 1997, he founded his own company, Macon Engineering and Technical Services, a company he grew into a multinational status within a decade. In Nigeria, with offices in Nigeria, the United States of America, and South Africa. With success in business, he veered into philanthropy. As a philanthropist, he touched the lives of thousands in Oyo State through scholarships and other community development projects. He gave transformers to various communities, sponsorship of medical team from United States, and so on and so forth. His quest to touch more lives and a commitment to seeing Oyo State become a model to other states propelled him into politics. He was elected governor of Oyo State on March 10, 2019, and got re-elected in March 2023 for his second term. Not being an off-cue leader, Makinde came into office with a vision and strategy to take the people of Oyo State from poverty to prosperity. Thus, he came up with a roadmap for accelerated development in 2019 for his first tenure, and the roadmap for sustainable development in 2023 after his re-election. On his watch, Oyo State has witnessed phenomenal growth. The internally generated revenue moved from about 1.8 billion monthly in 2019 to over 7 billion in 2025. In the area of infrastructure, close to 500 kilometers of road spread across all the zones in the states have been completed. Some of the major ones include the 76.6 Iseyin-Ogbomoso Road, reconstruction of the Moniya-Iseyin Road, and several others. In the area of education, he was able to secure sole ownership of Ladoke Akintola University, Ogbomoso, therefore putting an end to the age-long crisis that bedeviled the institution. The administration also built a new campus for Lautech in Iseyin. Similarly, the Emmanuel Alayonde College of Education, Oyo, was upgraded. Governor Makinde abolished payment of school fees in both state primary and secondary schools, rehabilitated about 105 schools, and facilitated the return of about 80,000 out-of-school children back to school. The administration of Governor Makinde has renovated 261 primary health care centers and several other monumental health interventions. Oyo State government under Engineer Makinde is leveraging on agribusiness to create employment opportunities. Just recently, over 20,000 persons were employed into different sectors of the Oyo State public service. The state government has also improved security across the length and breadth of the state through Light Up Oyo State. Over 2,500 personnel were recruited into the Amotekun Corps. It is therefore not surprising that over the past years, the number of enterprises within Oyo State has grown to 1,872,941, with the bulk of them in the capital city. Neither is it startling that United Nations Human Settlement Program research ranked Ibadan as the second fastest growing city in Africa, citing industrialization, urbanization, and economic activities as reason for the growth. Your Excellencies, my Lord Spiritual and Temporal, Royal Fathers, leaders of Futa academic community, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to present His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde to deliver the lecture at the Colloquium signposting the 10th anniversary of His Imperial Majesty Oba Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, CON, CFR, Deji, and Paramount Ruler of Akure Kingdom, as he speaks on roles of Nigerians' traditional institution in nation building, impediment, impact, and prospect. Your Excellency, you have the floor, sir.
Ìyára Àkúrẹ́ o. Ìyára o. Well, I'll quickly run through the protocol list. I know that the public address system is perhaps not the best, but this is what they have here. I was struggling to hear what they were saying. Well, to leave my own mark here, I'll change the public address system for them. I have only 22 months more. So what you should be praying for is that we should finish strong. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, ably represented by Special Advisor to the Nigeria President on Economic Affairs, Dr. Tope Fashua. I think maybe he stepped out. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Oribinsan Ayedatiwa. Ably represented by the Secretary to Ondo State Government, Dr. Taiwo Fasoranti. The former Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman for this occasion, His Royal Majesty the Oluwo of Owo, Oba Olu Falae, CFR, GCON. I do have some senior government officials from Oyo State. I have here, let me just use the Chief of Staff, Oyo State, Honorable Segun Ogunwoye, to recognize all the government officials from Oyo State. His Imperial Majesty, the Deji and Paramount Ruler of Akure Land, and also today's celebrants, Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, Odundun II, CFR. Kábíyèsí o. Ẹ ṣeun. His Royal Majesty, the Olowo of Owo and Ruler of Owo Kingdom, also the Royal Father of the Day, Oba Dr. Oba Gbadegesin Ogunoye Edit. Kábíyèsí o. Other prominent royal fathers and paramount chiefs here present. Tó bá jẹ́ Ọ̀yọ́ State ni, a kàn sọ gbogbo orí adé ọrùn ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ tó wà níkàlẹ̀, ẹ mo kí yín o. Other distinguished cabinet members of Ondo State government that are here, I think the Commissioner for, is it Attorney General? Okay, Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. Let me use you as the point of contact for other cabinet members of Ondo State that are here. Also, I have here the chairman of chairmen of local government areas in Oyo State, Honorable Sikiru Sanda. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, who is also a son of Ondo State, Professor Deji of Akure. Ẹ mú mọ̀ ìpara yìí ni. Ẹ fi búrẹ́dì kó wa lómi ọbẹ̀ jẹ́ ní Ọ̀yọ́ State. The Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Akure, ably represented by DVC Development, Professor Sunday Oluyamu, and other distinguished management and members of FUTA that are here. Do we have students from FUTA here? Great Nigerian students. And the greatest Gbagba. The greatest and the greatest Gbogbo. And Kulu temper. The chairman, Central Planning Committee for this 10th year anniversary of Deji, Mr. Femi Meshe, and other committee members. You are duly recognized. Distinguished panelists and audience for this all-important occasion. Eminent personalities that are present here. Well, a member of the panel, our own in Oyo State as well. Also, a son of the soil here. She doctor ni abi professor, which one now? Okay. There may be some people tí mo lè má lè recognize, especially ẹ̀yin mama. Tó bá jẹ́ Ìbàdàn ni, I know Ìbàdàn better. Ó lè jẹ́ Ìyálóde mi, mà bóyá Ìyálóde náà ni ẹ jẹ́ níbí mo kí yín o, mama. You know, when you recognize our mothers, events will normally go smoothly. So mo kí yín, mama. Olúwa wà pẹ̀lú yín o. Distinguished Ìṣeré, gentlemen of the press, myself and Dr. Festus Adedayo. Always, most times when we are interacting, I always start with a story I told Doctor and some of our colleagues in Ibadan. Well, let me also specially recognize my uncle, Engineer David Agbola Omarege, representing the Omarege family here. It was my uncle's wedding. We came to Akure. Awanikashi Bachelor's Eve. So we organized a party. And suddenly they started playing blues music. And then that time, when they playing blues, you grab whichever girl you have in front of you. So I grab this girl. I should say, Oga Gbamire, may you jo tighty. So, Yara Akure, may you Gbamire. Uncle, please. Well, I've been asked to deliver a lecture, anniversary lecture, to mark the 10th anniversary of Kabiyesi, Deji of Akure land, on the throne of his forefathers. And the title for my lecture is The Role of Nigeria's Traditional Institutions in Nation Building, Impediments, Impacts, and Prospects. I'll go ahead and do just that. So if I have your attention for maybe 8, maximum 10 minutes, but I'll try and make it 8. Just last week, I had the honor of presenting a book that explores the complex story of OPL 245, a case that opens a window into governance, ownership, negotiation, and how institutions shape the destinies of nations. I reference that particular event because in much the same way, our traditional institutions are also part of our national inheritance. Older than oil, because when the colonialists came here, they met an institution on ground. That's why, even till today, you have a difference between southern part of Nigeria and northern part of Nigeria. Because southern part of Nigeria, when the colonialists came, they met people that were already exposed. They met an institution already in place. So they introduced direct rule. When they got to the northern part of Nigeria, they had to do it through indirect rule because they also met an institution out there. So the difference, direct in one place and indirect in another place, was because they met those institutions on ground. So they were here far earlier than when they found oil in Nigeria. They discovered oil in 1959. So before 1959, the colonialists were here. So this traditional institution that we're talking about is older than oil, deeply cultural, and even more consequential to the future we seek to build. Yet, all too often, traditional institutions are misunderstood. Some imagine frail old men who have outlived their relevance. Some people, that is the mental picture of the traditional institution they have in their head. Others view them as mere instruments of political endorsement. Ṣebí ìgbà tá à ń wá ìbò káàkiri the last time, a lọ sí gbogbo ààfin àwọn traditional institutions náà ni. Because once you have endorsement, you know that you're halfway there. If we don't view the institution as being relevant in endorsing political leaders, we won't go there. But that mindset must change. Traditional institutions are not relics of the past. They are enduring pillars of identity, legitimacy, and communal cohesion. Like I said, long before Nigeria's administrative systems took root, traditional rulers dispensed justice, upheld values, coordinated local security, and kept communities united. Today, they remain custodians of grassroots trust and any nation-building effort that does not recognize or that ignores the traditional institutions does so at its peril. I've been in government for 6 years plus now, and most of the successes we recorded in Oyo State, engaging with the communities, ensuring that our programs and policies get to the grassroots, they were made possible because of our engagement with the traditional institutions in Oyo State. No wonder politicians, well, I'm one also, but I wasn't born a politician. Because people will always say, okay, politicians this, politicians that. But politicians, they are also from our communities. So we politicians, we will continue to seek blessings and validation from our traditional rulers. So in my own public service journey, I have come to see that strengthening traditional institutions is not simply about cultural preservation. It is strategic governance. Because once you have alignment, you can be sure that your programs and policies will get to the grassroots. In Oyo State, we have taken deliberate steps to integrate our traditional institution into the governance architecture. If you just permit me, I will highlight a few of these steps. First, we institutionalize their role in the State Security Council. So our royal fathers are not bystanders. They serve as first responders, sources of local intelligence, and advocates for peace. Secondly, we passed laws to remove ambiguity around succession and throne ascension. The outcome, few legal battles, reduce communal tension, and enhance legitimacy for our royal fathers. And most critically, we do not interfere. We trust the custodians of tradition to manage their own succession process. This principle of non-interference has fostered dignity, autonomy, and internal cohesion. But of course, this journey has not been without its challenges. I was only maybe 4 months or 5 months into office. The Supreme Court removed a first-class traditional ruler, Olowo of Owo, November 2019. And you know that me, before that my assignment, I was never anything politically, never anything in public service. So it was a baptismal of fire for me. When they removed the Kabiyesi, I was okay, what do we do? I started calling everybody. And 5 years after, 5 years plus after, just I think 2 weeks ago, the same person was reinstalled as the Olowo of Owo. But we lost 5 years for nothing. So if you reduce tension and we integrate the traditional institution into the governance architecture, all the money is wasted going from the lower court to the Supreme Court, and the tension within our communities it may not evaporate completely, but will be greatly reduced. So some of the impediments that we continue to face include jurisdictional conflicts between traditional institutions and local government council. We even have an ongoing conflict because we're introducing the traditional council and people are fighting all over the place. History. Some will say, oh, the Oyo Kingdom that you were talking about before now was not in this particular Oyo that we see today. That Oyo Kingdom was somewhere close to Kwara. I was okay, so how do I engage Kwara State government to reestablish that Oyo Kingdom when Nigeria has been divided into 36 states? But I know we will overcome with sincerity and constructive engagement. We also have the issue of political capture, where titles are wielded as tools for political allegiance, thereby eroding neutrality. And finally, we have lack of constitutional clarity, which leaves traditional rulers vulnerable to political goodwill rather than protected by a legal structure. I've had the honor of installing almost all first-class Obas in Oyo State. I installed Olubadan. I installed Aladetoyinbo of Oyo. I installed Olowo of Owo. I've just installed Eleruwa. I installed Okere of Shaki. I installed Asheyin of Seyi. But we did not use any of those for political patronage. As a matter of fact, when I was going to install Okere of Shaki, somebody very close to me in government came and said, this Okere, he's an APC man, oh, don't let us install him. I called the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, and I said, Kini wants so? Let come for money. Okay, I signed this. Go and install him. So we installed him. But during the election, APC won in Kabiyesi's jurisdiction. It didn't mean anything to me because whether PDP, APC, the country is ours. The state is ours. So still, these challenges do not diminish the value of our traditional institutions. They simply point to the need for thoughtful reform and a more coherent national policy. Indeed, when respected and empowered, our traditional institutions deliver measurable impact. And I'm not saying this to patronize or to flatter traditional rulers here. I'm saying it because that has been my own experience in government. They help resolve conflict at the community level, often preventing escalation to violence. So in Oyo State, we have institutionalized alternative dispute resolution mechanism that work hand in hand with our traditional institutions. I get less calls because anything banshele in any state, they will say, call the governor. But me, because our traditional rulers, they are filling that gap. I sleep longer, I get less calls. 2, they are vital to community policing. The call has seen significant success, partly because our traditional rulers support and mobilize their communities around the initiative. Finally, and just to buttress what I just mentioned, in Oyo State, there's a place in Kajala local government. Okay, we had a security breach. They robbed a bank. And we're looking for clue. And from the traditional institution at Okeo, they were able to tell us that, well, these people came into this community to rent an apartment for, almost 6 months prior to when that robbery incident occurred. And we were also able to know that these people, they were not Fulani elders, but they were people from Kogi State. Because our traditional rulers, they went deep into that community and facts came out, and we've been able to plug that loophole. We've taken corrective measures, and since that incident, none again has occurred in Oyo State. So finally, they encourage development ownership. Many of our tourism sites in Oyo State, such as Iyake Lake, Idere Hills, are community-run under the stewardship of traditional leaders. So our efforts to attract investment to these areas are not aimed at taking them away from their custodians, but at unlocking even greater opportunities for local development. So what does the future hold? The relevance of traditional institutions must be recalibrated, not politicized, but purposefully integrated into our broader development systems. And that means as a nation, we have to do the following. One, reforming legal frameworks to provide clarity on the roles, rights, and recognition of traditional councils. Two, strengthening our security architecture to formalize community policing, and the strategies must be rooted in the traditional structures. And three, elevating cultural diplomacy and tourism, placing our traditional institutions at the heart of heritage, arts, and youth engagement. So in a country as richly diverse as Nigeria, we do not need fewer institutions. We need stronger, smarter partnerships between the old and the new, between the traditional throne and the modern office, between the Oba's palace and the policies of government. True nation building for Nigeria is not about how much oil Nigeria produces. I read in today's newspaper, I think Punch or Tribune, as we're flying in from Lagos. How they said Nigeria has exceeded its OPEC quota. What do you mean? Yes, we're rich in natural resources, but we're poor in managing our resources. So true nation building is not about people telling us, oh, we don't have any business with poverty because we produce this much oil. Oh, because we have lithium, because we have solid minerals. No. There are three things that must go with all of those for poverty to be tackled in our environment. You must have entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs must come. Government cannot employ all the people. You encourage people that will, entrepreneurs that will employ the people. You need also knowledge and skills. This place, I was talking to the person sitting next to me as we were driving in here. I said to him that in 1979, I believe, 1979, or 78. I came here, this particular campus. It used to be the Federal Polytechnic, Akure. This particular campus to take a form for my immediate older brother. Now this place has changed from Federal Polytechnic Akure to Federal University of Technology Akure. Some people were fighting me that you cannot change Polytechnic Ibadan. You cannot change the name. So what if it becomes University of Technology? We should still call it Polytechnic Ibadan. So true nation building is not about how much oil we produce. We must do those three things: have entrepreneurship, knowledge and skills, and intensive production. People must go to work. The students, as they are coming out, they must be engaged. And our economy cannot be down at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., onikaluku ti wonu le won lo. But in other places, they do 3 shifts of 8 hours every day. And we said we shouldn't have anything to do with poverty. So it is about the strength of our institutions, their ability to serve the people justly, and the legacy they leave behind. So I'll end by saying that let us continue to build that legacy together. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It's been a moment with you. Thank you very much for that keynote lecture. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you for coming and celebrating with us in Akure land. Thank you very much. That was the governor of Oyo State, His Excellency, Engineer Seyi Makinde, FNSE. Thank you very much, sir. And so, would like to move on quickly. I know that the discussants are ready for today's colloquium, whose topic is roles of Nigerians' traditional institutions in nation building, impediments, impacts, and prosperity. And if you're just joining us, I'd like to run through the identification of the discussants. We have on the table this afternoon Dr. Festus Adedayo. Thank you very much for coming. He's flanked by Professor Adedayo Afe. Thank you very much for also coming. We have the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Oyo State, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, CONSAN. He's also one of the discussants. We have His Excellency Ambassador Good News. Odatiwa Women Initiative. Can I please plead with you? Can I please plead with you to be seated and enjoy this lecture? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mo mọ̀ pé orin pọ̀ ní kún yín tẹ́ fẹ́ kọ. Ẹ ní sùúrù. Thank you very much. Thank you. And so we're going to be moving on to the colloquium proper. For this colloquium panel session, the discussants will move to their table so we can kickstart that. And to moderate this session, I have the honor of inviting our own Kabiyesi, Oba Olu Falae, the Olu of Iluabo. Eshe Kabiyesi o. Kabiyesi o. He's going to be moderating this session. Now, just to take a brief moment to quickly acknowledge about two people who just stepped in. I realized that the former Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources in Ondo State, Engineer Razak Obe, is in attendance. Thank you very much for coming. A warm round of applause for him. We also have the Honorable Commissioner, Local Government Service Commission, Mrs. Bronke Gloria Ojo. She's in our midst. Thank you very much for coming, ma. And so I'd like to also use Nurse Ariola Adamolekun, beg your pardon, as a point of respect to members of the Hospital Management Board of Ondo State. Thank you very much for coming. I also noticed that Senior High Chief Shola Adegbomire, the Asai of Akure land, also stepped in whilst His Excellency was on the microphone. Thank you very much for coming, sir. And so with a warm round of applause, I'd like to hand the microphone to the moderator of this colloquium panel session. A warm round of applause for His Imperial Majesty, the Kabiyesi Oba, the Oba of Iluabu, Kabiyesi Oba Olu Falae. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor for Oyo State and lecturer for today, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented by my brother sitting to my left, all the Excellencies, our Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very happy that the organizers of Kabiyesi's 10th-year celebration have chosen this topic of the role of the traditional institutions, impediments, challenges, etc. Because this is a problem Nigeria has been struggling with since independence. Do you completely jettison the traditional institution, or how do you integrate it into governance? When we were at the National Conference in 2014, where I had the privilege to have been elected as the chairman or leader of all the Yoruba delegations, we did everything possible to get traditional rulers incorporated into the draft constitution. The truth is, you know, at that time I was on the other side. I was a public civil servant for 27 years. I've been Olowo of Owo now for 41 years, although I became an Oba only 3 years ago. So I've been on both sides. And I know the mindset of most politicians, and it is that Obas are potential competitors for power and influence. And so they are reluctant to give Obas a place in the Constitution. That was the problem I saw at the National Conference. Now, I hope our discussants at this meeting will address their minds to that particular problem and how to resolve, because the lecturer made it clear that the traditional institution is a pillar of our society. That when the white man came, there was an institution on the ground. By the way, on the lighter side, when the white man came, he took power from the traditional rulers. When he was going away, he forgot to return it to them. What did he do? He gave it to people we called councillors, House of Assembly people. He didn't take power from those people when he came. He took it from the Obas. That's just by the way. We're not saying that the Obas should take power, but we must find an ingenious way of integrating them into governance. As a politician, as the lecturer also said, every politician goes to the traditional ruler for endorsement. That is because they recognize that they have an influence, they have a relevance, and yet they are not integrated into government. So how do we find a way of integrating them? At the end of this session, I will make my own suggestions, but I hope the discussants will advise their minds to, because the lecturer agreed that traditional rulers should be part of governance. The question is how? So I call on the fair discussant, there's the Attorney General of Oyo State, my friend Kayode Ajulo, SAN.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, the son of the soil, the Governor of Ondo State, represented by my brother, Dr. Taiwo Fashion-Ote, His Imperial Majesty, the Deji of Akure, Oba Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi II, Kabiyesi, the Olowo of Owo, the chairman of the Ondo State Council of Chiefs, and Kabiyesi, the Olowo of Owo, and my brother representing the Vice President, Dr. Fashua, you're welcome, and you're welcome to Ondo State. The MC, and particularly His Excellency, has already established a well and rightful protocol. And I will only seek to, I know using the word stand on existing protocol is colloquial English, but let me use that because I think we understand it better. To stand on the existing protocol. Sir, please, before saying anything, I must confess that I come from a triplet perspective in doing this. First, as the Attorney General of the state, speaking from legal perspective in speaking for the people and government of the state. And secondly, I'm proud to call myself as the honor chief of this kingdom. And with that, thank you. I come with the cultural insight and loyalty and love to the Imperial Majesty Deji of Akure. And finally, I come as a passionate citizen of this country in which I have to share the experience of our people. But today, I speak simply as Kayode Ajulo, a devoted citizen and adopted son of this kingdom. And before saying anything, I think, despite the fact that I want to speak as Kayode Ajulo, we cannot take the fact that I still remain the Attorney General of this state and the administration of Ondo State when we need to interrogate the issue of traditional institution in nation building, the obstacle, the impact and prosperity. I'm sure we all agree that the government of those states under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Lucky Orimisaye Datua Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sure you agree with me that under the present dispensation in Ondo State, this administration has consistently honored and consulted and supported our traditional rulers as the keeper of our street, of our history and builders of ours. social unity. And if I must state, sir, and if I permitted, are we going to talk about the consistent salary and the local government percentage of allowance that this government is giving to our traditional rulers for them to function properly? Are we going to talk about the restoration and elevation of chieftaincy title, particularly to marginalized communities? Are we going to talk about the security partnership with our traditional rulers and in preserving royal heritage? I know I won't like to bore you with what the administration has done. The secretariat for our king are still there, standing majestically. It was recently commissioned and to the use of our traditional rulers and the people. And I think we need to say something about that. And I believe in the time when tradition risks being overshadowed by modernity, this Ondo State has chosen collaboration over control, and I believe we deserve recognition for that. Mr. Chairman, when we talk of legal perspective, a society without law is like a drum without rhythm. The backbone of traditional institution in Ondo State is governed by the chief law, Cap 29 Law of Ondo State, 2006, which outlined the roles and responsibility of our chief. Yes, I must confess, this law is stabbed with colonial legacy, and I will agree with Kayode Olu Falae when he mentioned that when the colonial administration came, leaving, they refused to return what they took from the kings. And not only that, and that is why I remember recently I did a little research on all the laws, chief's law in Nigeria. And one funny thing I noticed happened to be that all of them are still stepped with that colonial charcoal. Because I query, how come we call it chief laws? Why not the king's law? How come any references to the kings, it is only chiefs? And how come when we talk about their throne, nowhere in the laws they will mention throne. What you will see is stool. And there's a big difference with the stool and with the throne. And when I did a little research, I found out that maybe because the colonial believed that it's only the king of England or queen of England that is the only king. And I think these are one of the things that has to be changed. And I believe with the support of the people, with the government, we'll change that. Now, apart from that, wanting to talk again on some issues. And I must say this constitutionally. Our constitution may not, in the way we may to our expectation, give the traditional institution rules. But I know that section 7.1, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution supports local governance, which often relies on the traditional institution. Furthermore, our chief laws is valid under the Constitution, which we apply. But again, I need to say this thing, sir. In England, where we have the king and queen, they don't even have any laws, but they have king, which is quite effective. And I think I need to say this, that recently I've gone through some constitutional amendment processes. I've known that one of what has been so main issue is how to give the traditional rulers. And I believe if that one is done, fine. But I believe as a lawyer, knowing that when we talk of issue of resources of laws, apart from the Constitution, apart from the law and convention, we have traditional institution entrenched in our polity, in our system. What is expected is how we can galvanize, we can come together, have synergy with them to ensure that they continue. I take notice of the title of this topic of this discussion, role of traditional institution in building nation building, obstacle and impact and prosperity. And I think I will come with this submission that the traditional institution has feared. The government has recognized them. And that is why most of our law recently, we always have our traditional institution in most of the boards, in composition of most of all our agencies. And that is one of the whole thing. And I think what we should do is, I believe that too much is given, much is expected. And that is why, before I started talking, I said I want to speak as Kayode Ajulo, not as officials of government. So whatever I'm saying now, it will only be attributed to me, not to the state government that I'm the Attorney General. Because I'm saying this because that what is expected of our traditional rulers, yes, they've done so much. If we need to look for the examples of a traditional ruler that have done what is being expected of him, is Deji of Akure. I know that is why if Deji should call us anytime, we'll be there. I've been here earlier than when one is supposed to come. But I must say this, there are some conduct of some of our traditional rulers that still leaves much to be desired. And I believe, being a custodian of our culture and tradition, it is expected that whatsoever they will do is for that promotion of that culture and tradition. But unfortunately, this is the age of social medias. We see what some of these our rival leader, what they do sometime. I think if much is being asked for, they should know that much is being expected of them. And again, we have to look at one issue. When we talk of dignity, partnership, and prosperity, it depends on what the traditional rulers stand for. And like what I've mentioned earlier, our law has demonstrated and our government has demonstrated that we respect them. We place premium on them. And finally, in moving ahead, we must continue to recognize our traditional institution as partner in governance. We must ensure that laws reflect cultural reality and not towing to the colonial remnants and their thinking. We must continue to develop funding and training for traditional rulers in conflict resolution. And again, hand over legacy where tradition is respected and always believed. In closing, sir, Mr. Chairman, let's remember that traditional institutions are not relics. They are resources. They shape our future, not just to recall our past. Let us recreate a nation that honors its roots, reform its system, and reimagine tradition as a vehicle for posterity. As long as KBC continue to walk among us, they will continue to do honors to us and will continue to do honor to them. They will continue to be relevant and will be impactful, because it is Yoruba age that the trees that forget its roots will be uprooted by the system. As long that we believe in our tradition and we are leaders, we continue to stand and stand right. And I pray that may our roots run deep, may the crown of our KBC shine bright, may Nigeria rise on the shoulders of both modern and the ancient. I thank you for listening to me, please.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I failed to indicate that each discussant will have just 5 minutes because we have other activities scheduled for today. I now call on, so I can't see the next discussant. Please speak for 5 minutes and then hand over the microphone to the last person.
let me start by wishing our Kabesi happy celebration. I want to start with this hypothesis. The case of government and traditional institution, just like a case of somebody greeting you while prostrating, within him is standing. That is the way I look at most especially the governors, not all of them. You prostrate, within you, you are standing. Of recent in Ondo State here, we listened to what one of the wife of former governor said, and somebody asked me as a professor of history, what did you see? I said, if she is saying that, why can't you ask him that some people make our own husband a governor? Somebody will use you to advance your cause in life. If you are going to be a bishop, people will gather. If you are going to be an imam, people will gather. So in other words, traditional institution and contemporary governance, they are intertwined. The governors, they need them to score political points. Even though the traditional institution, they need the governor to rejig the infrastructure in their community. So in early 80s in Akure here, because the guest speaker dwelled much on Oyo State, which is very good for us. When I was growing up, the Akure Town Hall, there is a portion of land sold to a bank then, Afri Bank. The chairman of today, Oba Olu Falae, advised the then Deji, you can't sell this thing outrightly, you can lease it out. He agreed with him. That is interrelationship between the elites and the traditional institution. That is why you see our king today reach out to people, non-Yoruba people, helping him to galvanize this state. Let me just go to my own recommendation because of our time. I was given only 5 minutes. The guest lecturer talked about indirect rule. Indirect rule is a system of administration whereby traditional institutions, traditional leaders were allowed to rule their people under the supervision of colonial rule. It was successful in the north. It was a partial success in the south. Why? Because the elite, they were not happy that the power of the traditional institution were increased. Because most of them that study outside this country, they are taking what after returning back home, they will take over government. So I'm advising our traditional institution, if you are going to achieve much, which definitely you will achieve, you must carry your people along. Traditional institution, even though the women, so that the community will move forward. One of my recommendations is that constitutional recognition, the guest speaker has spoke extensively about that, law of succession. All these things must not be a cosmetic thing. It must be in the law of the land. It must be in the constitution, not only in the law of Ondo State or law of Oyo State. It must be in the constitution so that it's going to be binding on all of us. My fear about Nigerian law, even though pronouncement of a Supreme Court, government doesn't recognize it. So I believe that this thing must be in the constitution. Regulation, prevention from politicization. When we monetize our politics, everybody will go to the governor with cap in hand. In our profession today, a professor prefers to be an essay to a local government than to be a professor in the university. When poverty is boldly written on the faces of people, definitely people will kowtow at the presence of a governor. Our governors, they are doing well, but there is one thing I love about our law. Nobody is permanent there. Our governor said something. He said he's having about 2 years. No matter how you love him, definitely after 2 years, somebody else will come. But something enduring. He made mention of Eleruwa of Eruwa. Because, sir, you are not a typical politician. A typical politician will not allow him to come back. That is why some of us, we are proud of you, sir. The way you handle the case in Oyo, some of us outside Oyo say we do extensive reading, sir. And we have colleagues, that's why there is relative peace. There may not be absolute peace. But relative peace is still okay. And I know Oyo will continue to work stronger. Reform must be holistic. And there's what I call overbearing tendency of our government on traditional institutions. How will you say that before a king will travel, there must be a permission? That one is absurd. So I believe that if there are going to be anything that you want to put into our constitution, all those things must be looked into. As a king of a town, there must be freedom of association. We are done in the military, but it's still happening now. When Emir of Kano, then, and Oba Onibushi, Chijuade, they were suspended. At the point that the thing was in the constitution, although we believe that military can do and not do, but people are still doing it now. So I want us to look at that. And the legal framework, paramountcy, that is one thing I want the government of Ondo State. There must be paramountcy in Ondo State. Back up with law. In 1976, October 3rd, when the state was created, I am aware that Olowo, Deji of Akure, they were first class over. So I want the government of Ondo State to look at that so that there will be relative peace in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
I wish to thank the last speaker for doing his best to keep within the 5 minutes given to him. The last discussant now, please 5 minutes.
Thank you. For the sake of time, let me also skip the protocol. I want to commend the lecture of the governor of Oyo State, the keynote lecture, for his insightful content. I specifically have a takeaway from that lecture, and it is underscore of the fact that the traditional institution is older. He said it is older than the oil that was found in Nigeria. I also want to go further by saying the traditional institution is older than Nigeria. And so, no wonder, as he said, the traditional institution is part of our national heritage, and every effort must be made to keep it as it is. However, we know that before the advent of colonial rule, traditional rulers and traditional institutions had greater powers than they had when the colonialists came. Virtually all the virtues that have been spoken about as what traditional institution did for our society, those values were continued when the colonialists came. But we all also know that before they came, there was resistance to their rule. You recollect the famous Oba of Benin, of Oranwe Nogbasi, how he resisted the British explorers who were coming to Benin City. You also recollect that, we had very strong institutions. For instance, you had the Oyo Empire, where we had a system of governance that I was told even the British society lauded as not only autochthonous, but it was a virile system of government. You recollect we had the Oyomesi, which includes the legislature, the judiciary, and there was also a system where the executive, the Alaafin of Oyo, could be sanctioned if he goes beyond his remit. However, the colonialists attempted to whittle down the powers of the traditional institutions, and that should be taken for granted. If you look at all the constitutions they had, there were attempts to whittle down their powers, from the Macpherson Constitution to Little T. For instance, the Hugh Clifford Constitution in 1922 downgraded traditional rulers, and the Littleton Constitution in 1954 also, that constitution was the one that brought the federalism into Nigeria, also in a way attempted to downgrade traditional institutions. The downgrade of traditional institutions in Nigeria has followed that pattern. 1960, 1963 constitutions, you recollect, the premier had so much powers, and he could unilaterally, if you like, depose Obas. You remember how the Alaafin of Oyo was deposed, and the former Olowo of Owo as well. So the downgrade of traditional institutions by people in government has followed that pattern. However, don't let me bore you with history. There was a particular very instructive suggestion by the Olu of Iluabo, Chief Olu Falae, who wanted us to talk about how to inculcate traditional rulers into governance. My take may be different from every other person in that to get traditional rulers to the position they used to occupy, the traditional institution must bring back honor to its fold. As things are at the moment, not many people regard that institution. And why has regard fled the palaces? Number one is that that institution is held together by myths. There are so many myths that surround the palaces. For instance, I know that it is said that traditional rulers should not eat in the presence of ordinary mortals. Today we have Obas who drink beer in the public, and they want people to give them regard. There are traditional rulers, I've seen traditional rulers in public who remove their caps. Traditional rulers are known in Yoruba land now about land grabbing. How do they want governments or even their subjects to respect them? So, if we want traditional rulers to be inculcated into the system, they must win the respect of their subjects. It is not as if, yes, those days we had traditional rulers who later became governors. The Ooni of Ife was the governor general at some point during the First Republic. We should have that. We also have traditional rulers. Look at Chief Olu Falae, a renowned economist, former secretary to the government of the Federation. They have pedigrees, and they should be respected. However, we have dregs among traditional rulers who are bringing dishonor to the institution. So those myths about the palaces must be restored. Only recently, you had the passage of the Awujale of Ijebuland. And the Awujale was buried like ordinary mortal. How do you expect that institution to be seen as different from the Lemomu? Because it was, we used to hear of the sacredness of the burials of Obas. However, the sacredness is being eroded, and the institution must do all it can to bring back his honor. You recollect that in Oyo State recently, when the Alaafin of Oyo was being enthroned, the governor of Oyo State insisted that the system of Ifa enthronement of Obas must be respected. Those are the myths that surround the institution of Obaship, and for us to inculcate them into the fabrics of governance, as we did with the Oni of Ife during the First Republic, they must bring back their esteem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Your Excellencies, our Royal Fathers, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth discussant is Professor Igali, Chairman of the FUTA Board. He'll be speaking to us on the screen. He's not here in person. So I hope those in charge will now ensure that Professor Igali can have access to this audience. Again, his time is 5 minutes, like the others.
Can you hear me? Your Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, Your Excellency, the Governor of Oyo State, my brother Seyi Makinde, whom we consider a proud son of Bayelsa State, my father, Chief His Imperial Majesty Oba Olu Falae, whose footsteps I'm following, having myself been in public service for 35 years as a Federal Permanent Secretary. Your Majesty, my King and Monarch, the Olowo. The Olowo was kind to receive me in his palace and honored me greatly with a title. So I consider myself also a proud son of the great Oyo Kingdom. Olowo, it's my pleasure to greet you again. We were together on Saturday in Port Harcourt. Let me especially pay respect to my host, His Royal Majesty, the Deji of Akure, who was my chief host during the days when I was Pro-Chancellor of Federal University of Technology, Akure, until last year. Deji, I thank you very much for your hospitality, and I particularly thank you for asking me to be part of the celebration of your 10th anniversary on this ancient kingdom, the throne of your fathers. Your Excellency, I would not like to take more time. Let me apologize why I'm not there today. I had planned to be there today, and we had planned for a long time. Unfortunately, yesterday was a public holiday when the National Constitutional Conference organized by Chief Anyoko and the patrons was postponed till today. And in my position as National Chairman of PANDEF, I was demanded to lead the Niger Delta delegation to this Constitutional Conference. And that is why I'm not there with you today. So please, Your Excellencies and Cabinetsies, please accept my sincere apology. I want to thank you for asking me to contribute to the very brilliant lecture that His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde has spoken on. I must thank His Excellency for really touching on this topic. This topic is very germane to our development as a country, and it's one of the issues we're addressing in the present constitutional conference going on here at Hilton Hotel in Abuja. Your Excellency, your paper highlighted a lot of issues, and there's virtually nothing to add. What is important to me from 3 points of view: number one,
Thank you very much. I think, with the kind permission of His Excellency.
my case.
Your Excellencies, our Royal Fathers, ladies and gentlemen, the network has deprived us of the concluding part of Professor Igadi's contribution. I would like to exploit my position as chairman to make a slight change to the program. I would like to make my remarks now as chairman, and then the musical, the short musical interval will come after that, before the remarks of His Royal Father, our Royal Father of the Day, Kabiyesi Oba Adedayo Olowo of Owo. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, I've had the unique experience of being a civil servant, a public servant for almost 30 years. I had the privilege of serving at the highest levels: permanent secretary, secretary to the government, minister of finance. I have seen it all. I've also been Olowo of Owo for 41 years, and Oba for 3 years. So I've seen this issue from both sides. Nobody that I know will ever suggest that Obas should be restored to what they used to be. Certainly not. The point being made is that our democracy, as practiced today, has two major problems. First is the problem of lack of continuity. When the government wins power, it runs its term, it finishes and goes away. Maybe the next party wins the election. That new government is not obliged to continue with the programs and policies of the preceding government. And lack of continuity deprives society of the growth that you enjoy when there is continuity of programs and policies. Let me give you a small example. When I was in government as secretary to the government, General Kayode was Minister for Industries and was very much interested in getting Nigerian engineers to build a Nigerian car. And they did. The car was not beautiful, it was slow, but it was built here in Nigeria. Kayode left that ministry a year later, and that was the end of the Nigerian car project. That happens at all levels of government. So involvement of traditional rulers will ensure continuity. Secondly, democratic government is, by its very nature, polarizes. There is party A, there is party B. Party A wins an election and distributes the patronage, opportunities, employment to his own followers. Party B is just an observer in the process. They are hardly included. So we need a more inclusive government, and only involvement of traditional rulers will ensure that, because my suggestion would be that at all levels of government, we have a traditional institution which is given the chance to have a look at every government proposal or policy or program and to make suggestions. Thereafter, the elected government will be free to take its decision. But the traditional institution will have had a chance to have an input into decisions being made in government. So I think we can debate this for the next 3 months, but I want to say that at some point in our history, we'll be able to craft a constitution that will give power to the democratically elected government, while enabling the traditional institution to play a bridging or a continuity maintaining influence in government, because those two elements are missing. And I want to say finally that the British who brought democratic governance here have maintained their royalty. I'm sure many of us watched on television with amazement when King Charles was being installed. Some of the ceremonies and traditions were pre-Christians. Some of those are so that 5,000, 10,000 years old. And they still maintain the royalty. And by the way, the English king today plays 3 important roles in government. One, after every election, he calls on the leader of the party with the largest number of members of parliament to form a government. Where there is no clear majority, the king plays a crucial role in calling on who will form government. Secondly, it is still a fact today that every Wednesday afternoon, the king and the prime minister have a meeting attended by no other person. No one knows what they discuss. The records of their discussions are not kept nor disclosed to anybody. So the king has every opportunity to influence, if he wants to, the goings on in government. And finally, House of Commons can pass any law. If it is not signed by the king, it does not become law. I'm not saying we should borrow that model, but I'm just saying that the British who brought democracy here have succeeded in integrating their royalty into their democratic system. Your Excellencies, Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a subject which I hope we'll continue to discuss and debate. And I would recommend that if it's possible, that Oyo State or Ondo State or both should organize retreats on this matter. How we can creatively and sensibly ensure that our democracy features our traditional values without taking power away from those who are democratically elected. Thank you very much. The music interlude cannot come on.
A beautiful round of applause for the chairman on today's occasion. Kabiyesi Olu Falae, thank you very much for that. To our distinguished discussants, Dr. Festus Adedayo, thank you very much. Professor Afe, thank you. Attorney General Ondo State, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, thank you very much. Because of our time, ladies and gentlemen, we won't be able to take the Q&A. We won't be able to take questions, but if there are questions you have, you can direct that to the committee who will pass it across to the chairman. But what we want to do very quickly, because of time, is to take the remarks in just 2 minutes in quick succession. And the very first person to speak is the chairman of Ondo State Council of Traditional Rulers, Oba Dr. Oba Gbadegesin Ogunoye III, who will be addressing us now. Thank you. A round of applause, please.
The Vice President of Nigeria, who is ably represented by Dr. Tope Fashoa, the Governor of Ondo State, who is equally ably represented by the Secretary to the State Government, the governor of Oyo State, who is present there personally. I greet you, Your Excellency. The celebrant of today, the Deji of Akure, Oba Aladetoyinbo, I say congratulations. The chairman of today's occasion, Kayode, Oba Falae, I greet you. I greet members of the panelists, most importantly the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, and other professors that are there. I greet the Kayedes, distinguished party leaders that are here, chiefs, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today's topic is, I say, is very important for the fact that it's one of the issues being discussed across the length and breadth of Nigeria today. The Senate Committee on Constitutional Review made attempts to include the recognition of traditional institutions in the Constitution, and the House of Reps is equally planning to do the same this Friday in Akure. So the traditional institution is very, very important in nation building. If we are to look at it, Constitution should be based on the experiences of the people. What happens in a society should form the fulcrum of what Constitution should be based. So that is more reason why the traditional institution is paramount to be included in our Constitution, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Also, I must commend the governor of Oyo State for what he's been able to do in Oyo State in relation to the traditional institution, particularly respect for, towards the activities leading to the selection of the Alaafin of Oyo and the two other Obas. Equally, the Ondo State government, under the able leadership of Dr. Lucky Orimiso Adatiwa, has been partnering with the traditional institution in evolving a better society for Ondo State. I commend Mr. Governor in that respect. Yes, I strategically listened to the panelists, what they observed about the traditional institution, majorly on what is not expected of the traditional institution. My appeal to Nigerians, to our people generally, is to particularize it, not necessarily generalizing. Because I see you have generalized everything. You should be able to isolate specific individual that violates the traditional institution and make specific allegation again, rather than generalizing. If I have to use my institution, the Olowo is a symbol of what tradition should be, what culture should be. We revolve and we do our things within our specific traditional institution. And I know a lot of kingdoms are in that respect. My appeal, I observe that one of you, I more commend you for making recommendation that there must be paramountcy to be implemented in Ondo, just like in other states. The Honorable Attorney General, you are here now. It is your duty to take action on this. Because there is no organization, there must be hierarchy. There must be a hierarchy of authority. So that it is when you generalize issues, in a situation where a creation is equal to its creator, there will be anomaly. It happens everywhere. And God, I must say, it is government that are really doing that, just to whittle down the powers and authority of our traditional institution. Not the present state government in Ondo State. The present state government, I must say, is doing a lot in the promotion and protection of this institution, and it's highly commendable in that respect. If I should add, there is no society. What we do, there are specific areas that we partner government. In security, we know the terrain in our kingdoms. We know the terrain and we can give useful information. Our people can use it. I, as a president, I often say that I'm a traditionalist to the highest level. To the highest level. If we are of recent, we were aware about when the Queen of England passed away, what it entailed when she was being buried. Everything about it is optional to me. If you want to be an Oba, be an Oba. If you don't want to practice what it entails, you have the option of not accepting. It's not by force. It's not by force. So before I accepted to be the Olowo of Owo, I know what it entails. I was in the palace for 25 years with my father. So I know I'm aware about what happened. And and there's no way I observed anything that was repugnant to our tradition. Let us know that there's nothing repugnant about our tradition. As it happens here, it happens across the world. These are just processes. Processes. We must embrace it. That's why I said this thing is optional. If you want to be an Oba, you know what it entails. Be. And if you know you can't comply, please opt out. It is optional. So I must use this opportunity to commend the Cabinet Deji for putting this topic in place for discussion. This is your 10-year anniversary. By 20 years, we will all be here to celebrate with you. Thank you very much.
As I said, thank you. Thank you very much. As I said, the remarks will be coming in quick succession, and the next to speak is the man of the moment, and that's the Kabiyesi we are all here to celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, I respectfully invite to the microphone His Imperial Majesty Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, Odundun II, CFR, the Deji and Paramount Ruler of Akure land, for his royal remarks.
Let me recognize the Vice President, ably represented by our own son, Honorable Fashua. My governor, our governor, Olori Okobambam, the governor of Oyo State, ably represented here by Omo Baba. Baba wa, next year we'll be doing 100 years. So the birthday is coming next year, 100 years. We all do it together. In Jesus' name. Here we have the keynote speaker. Our own son, in Yoruba proverb. I will say in Akure dialect, Eye mapa kon fo. Eye mapa kon fo. Laka iye community aba. That's why Governor Makinde is doing good, though. Because Ibadan people, they are nice. Akure also is nice. That's why it's performing excellently well in Oyo State. Let me recognize, before I go to, okay, let me do that last. I recognize my Baba Falae. Baba Deji. Baba Deji is wearing two crowns. Baba Deji and Kabiyesi of Iluabu. Because if I start how we started, It will take me a whole day because it's my role model, my everything. You know, where I am today is one of the master plan, the bedrock. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Mama ṣe tábàdẹ̀ tí ń ṣe tí bàbá fẹ́ wọ 100 tẹ́ ẹ̀ wà ní 80 máa ṣe ti yín every year tó máa pọ̀. My own chairman, the state traditional ruler chairman, Akure is going to sleep in Akure tonight. He's my good friend, a good king, very loyal. Thank you for being the royal father of the day. Thank you. My VC, the Vice Chancellor of this great university, you know, he put my destiny on one of the dailies. Guide, if you don't have the copy, go and grab one. Vice Chancellor Adenike, you know, this is my university, this is my university, it's the best university of technology. I'm not saying all the technology, the best university of technology in Nigeria. Because if I say the best university, if I will be saying, you are the best federal university of technology in Nigeria. Yes. Let me go back to my own Ogidiomo, the chairman of the Central Committee of this 10th anniversary. Honorable Meshe, our own Meshe, with his Olori. You know, when I got to the throne, when I went to Ibadan, he gave me a car. That was 10 years ago. And I'm doing my 10th now. He gave me a, if I mention the price, they will say, the price is too much. But I won't mention the price. But he gave me a beautiful car for my 10th anniversary. I thank you very much. Thank you very much. And my own Bobajiro Gansama, SAN, always there for me. Life bencher. You are very welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our own Attorney General, he got a chieftaincy title when he was young, but now he wanted to change it to Barr Murphy of Akure. So you get it, our own son. It's our own son too, son of the soil, our own son. Gbogbo àwọn tó bá our governor from Ibadan, government officials, I thank you very much. I appreciate you for coming. Thank you, sirs. Ẹ ṣé o. Oyo State a máa tẹ̀síwájú o. Lásìkò ọmọ wa, Oyo State a máa tẹ̀síwájú. I just want to. Where is my boy? Governor Akeredolu, for blessed memory. Name him Omomi Bilibili. Because come outside here, Mike. That's my middle director. The guy is too good. Still good for me. He's too good. Yes, you know, God will continue to bless you for me. Bless you for Akure people. All my palace boys, they are wonderful. They are wonderful. The Olus, I have some Olus who are here. I have senior high chiefs, my chiefs, they are here. Female chiefs, our Kabesi Akapisha, Kabesi Aye, Kabesi Ralepo, Regent of Oda, you're welcome. Where's the director of Engr? Yes, that's the guy who composed. You will still sing the National Army Akure anthem. He composed Akure anthem. If you hear it, oh my God, they will, even Nigeria will like to change it to Nigeria. It's one of my achievements. The national anthem is one of my achievements. I won't comment about the role of the traditional institution, because like Baba Falae, the colonial master, they came, they took it away from us. They gave it to, when they left, they gave it to the government. The government went further. They took our land. Oba Lonely Land is no more. Governor Lonely Land, Governor Lonely. Oba Lonely Land. No, Governor Lonely Land. If we want anything now, we go to governor. Give us some. So I thank my students. Are you all here? I greet you all. Thank you for coming. The member of APC, member of PDP, they are all my parties. PDP, they are all my parties. The Governor Makinde, if he's still in PDP, PDP is still great. PDP is still great. Our Eddie, Honorable Eddie Adefeso, Pabo. We were into politics, before I got to the throne. So, not to waste your time, I just 10 years ago, I thank God Almighty for keeping me up to this time. I give him all the glory. If not because of him, I wouldn't be here. I mentioned my female chiefs, headed by Relu Abi. Apart from being my sister, is my chief, Erelu Iyaloja General of Akure Kingdom. God has been so merciful to me because of His grace. I will keep on worshiping Him. If you have God, you have everything. He gave me, because gave me all the good advisors. When the panel, when I got to the throne, that very month, the Akure chapter, Akure chapter in Ibadan, they came to me. Oba Olu Falae, Festus was there. They gave me good advice. We started, from that day, we started on good foundation. Festus it's only that if you want to read this article, you must have a dictionary beside you. So Festus and Olu, your team, I'm very, very grateful. Like I said, 10 years, just like yesterday, just like a flash, is God doing. I will continue to do what I've been doing and I will even improve more. All the Obas in Akure North and in fact, I don't know why they are not here. They were all invited. But, we are one. Okon Lakure. What is what is so the Akure? We say the Akure, where is Akure? I don't know. Okon Lakure. My Balogun is here too. The Balogun of Akure Kingdom. The CMD, Professor Ojo is gone. Oh, okay. One of my achievements too is having a federal teaching hospital in Akure Kingdom here. Because Akure is the only, when we went to Buhari, when he was of a blessed memory, when he was inaugurated as the first president, we, the Council of Foreigners in Southwest, went to him. He was asking us, what do we need? What do we need? I told him that out of the whole nation, Akure is the only state capital that doesn't have teaching hospital, whether state or federal. So he told me then that we are going to get one. And today, we are having one federal teaching hospital, FUTA. So it's one of my achievements too. So if I have all these good things coming to Akure, that's my joy. That's my joy. And if I have all my boys, all my sons and daughters, progressing, that's my promotion. Because Ashamo, Chief Ashamo, Omo Ojoba, where Shawuri, yeah, Wuri Kara, yeah, Omo Ojoba, where Shawuri, Governor, do you? What do you want to become? You want to become God? No. So my own promotion that I'm looking for now is my people to progress. Akure to progress. That's my. I don't want any other promotion. I can't be governor. I can't be president. Governor will go, Deji will still remain. So I thank everybody. Thank everybody for coming. And the celebration started today, and it's still going to take from now to Sunday. And the governor, our governor, will still be with us till Saturday. It's going to, let me tell you, because of his role, we are giving him and the First Lady, Are Omoluabi of Akure, and Yeye Are Omoluabi of Akure. Governor, tọ́jú àwọn ọba, ó ti tọ́jú yín o, ó ti rán mi sí àwọn ọba tó wà bí ó ti àti chief àti it's nice governor. Nice governor. So we thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So I thank everybody for coming. And I see you. We're supposed to be at the stadium 3 o'clock for the football match. Although I see you there very soon. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Just as Kabiesi said, the football match should take place by 3 p.m. And so the next set of remarks that we have, the representative of the Vice President and Mr. Governor will also speak. So ladies and gentlemen, let's have the representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is represented by the Special Advisor on Economy, Dr. Tope Fashua. A round of applause.
Thank you very much. I'd like to stand on existing protocol, but I'd like to greet members of the high table, Ondo State Governor here represented, my Engr, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Kabiesi himself, Deji of Akure, and of course, Olowo of Owo, my senior brother, my Engr as well as Baba Olu Falae, Oluabo of Oluabo. Ladies and gentlemen, so I have a speech, but I'll paraphrase it to just 2 minutes. And I think you may be able to time me if I go beyond that. Protocols observed. It is with profound honor and immense gratitude that I stand before this August Assembly today on this momentous occasion, marking the 10th anniversary of the coronation of His Imperial Majesty Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, Odundun II, the Deji of Akure Kingdom. I bring felicitations and warm regards from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who holds Akure Kingdom and is esteemed monarch in the highest regard. Your Imperial Majesty, 10 years ago, the ancient crown of Akure, steeped in centuries of history, tradition, and ancestral wisdom, found its rightful bearer in your distinguished person. Since that auspicious day, you have discharged the onerous responsibility of your exalted office with unparalleled sagacity, unwavering dedication, and a palpable commitment to the welfare and progress of your people. Your reign has been characterized by remarkable strides in communal harmony, cultural renaissance, and socioeconomic advancement, truly embodying the essence of purposeful leadership. On behalf of the federal government and indeed all Nigerians, I extend our heartfelt congratulations on this significant milestone. May your reign continue to be long, prosperous, and impactful. And of course, there's a segue to the role of traditional institutions in Nigeria in nation building, which is today's topic. So in order to paraphrase some of the points that have been made here, is to look at the indelible impact of traditional institutions in nation building that has been discussed at length. Also, beyond cultural preservation, traditional institutions have consistently demonstrated their unparalleled efficacy in conflict resolution and peacekeeping at the grassroots level. In communities where formal judicial security mechanisms may seem distant and or inaccessible, traditional rulers, by virtue of their moral authority and intimate understanding of local dynamics, act as impartial arbiters. They mediate disputes, reconcile warring factions, and restore communal harmony, among others. That's just to say that the federal government recognizes the role of traditional institutions and, of course, particularly the role that the Deji of Akure has been playing in ensuring peace and harmony and progress in this kingdom, Akure Kingdom. And the speech requires that I also speak on charting a course for enhanced progress. And some points have been made as well. The speech speaks about the Deji of Akure, a beacon of exemplary leadership. Your Imperial Majesty Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi Odundun II, you stand as a shining exemplar of a traditional ruler who has navigated these complexities with remarkable dexterity. Your decade on the throne has been a testament to your visionary leadership, profound wisdom, and unwavering commitment to the progress of Akure Kingdom. Your efforts in promoting peace, fostering cultural revival, and attracting development initiatives are widely acclaimed and serve as an inspiration to others. You have not only preserved the revered traditions of your ancestors, but have also embraced the imperatives of modernity, positioning Akure for continued growth and prosperity. In conclusion, the role of Nigerian traditional institutions in nation building is not a relic of the past. It is a dynamic and evolving imperative for our future. Despite the impediments, their impacts have been profound, and their prospects with concerted effort and strategic engagement remain boundless. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, let us recognize that our traditional institutions offer a unique blend of heritage, authority, and grassroots connection that is indispensable for fostering unity, ensuring stability, and driving sustainable development across our diverse nation. Let us therefore collectively commit to strengthening these vital institutions, empowering them to play an even more robust role in shaping a Nigeria that is peaceful, prosperous, and proud of its heritage. Thank you, and God bless the Deji of Akure. God bless Oyo State. God bless Akure Kingdom. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. We just listened to the special advisor to the president on economy, Dr. Fashua. He is in the office of the vice president and is representing his boss here. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to the Ondo State man. And the Ondo State governor is represented here this beautiful afternoon by the secretary to the Ondo State government, Dr. Taiwo Fashoranti. Please let's give him a round of applause. Dr. Fashoranti, please, you may need to step out so that you can be captured for news reports. Please a round of applause for the representative of Mr. Governor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President, Dr. Fashua, who I know very well, Executive Governor of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde, I greet you, sir. Our KBNCs, the Chairman Traditional Council of Obas. Well, Olowo, I greet you, sir. Our own Baba Falae, the Olu of Owo, my own father, I greet you, sir. And to the celebrant of today, our Kabiyesi, a friend of Mr. Governor. They have this unique relationship. We're still trying to find out what's going on. His Excellency sends his love and apologies for not being here. Some state emergencies came up, he had to attend to them. So I've been asked to represent him. I would also like to thank the members of the organizing committees, headed by Honorable Meshe here. Thank you very much. Our Senior Advocate of Nigeria, we thank you. You guys have done very well. I wear two hats. I'm a part of the committee, and I'm also representing the government on this side. I can categorically say that the committee that planned this event are aware that we can name our governor the chief planner of this event. They have visited His Excellency twice to implement on the activities, the week-long activity to mark the 10th year coronation of the Kabiyesi. And His Excellency will play his role, and you will see him in subsequent events coming up. I don't have much to say, but to say that His Excellency appreciates the Kabiyesi, the Deji of Akure, and the love and the peaceful atmosphere that Akure has been witnessing over the past few years. It is very important to also note that the executive arm of government and the traditional rulers, especially in Ondo State, they have a unique relationship. And they have also helped us in solving a lot of community problems. Security issues have been discussed at that level, and His Excellency has called on the traditional rulers to come in to assist in settling most of these problems. That's why Ondo State has been termed as one of the most peaceful states in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We enjoy an amazing relationship between the executive and the Kabiyesis. I also greet all the Kabiyesis seated here in the hall. And I know that before we round up the events of this week-long celebration, you will see the role of His Excellency Dr. Lucky Orimisu Aiyedatiwa. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, the SSG to Ondo State Governor. I'd like to quickly welcome Honorable Sunday Olajide, the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development in Ondo State. Thank you very much for coming. I also have to warmly and respectfully welcome the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Ondo State, Prince Ebenezer Adeniyo. Thank you very much for coming. We have High Chief Rotimi Olusoya, the Ashamo of Akure Land. Thank you, Baba, for coming. Senior High Chief Architect Olufemi Bello, the Odokpetu of Akure Land. Thank you very much for your time and audience. His Excellencies, our Royal Fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to round off. Thank you.
Yes, just as my colleague said, it's time for the vote of thanks. And to lead us in the vote of thanks, may I respectfully bring to the microphone a light bencher, Chief Joe Kiari Gazama, SCN OFR, to lead the vote of thanks. And after that, the Emirats will lead us in the Akure anthem and will bring the program to a close. A round of applause for Chief Joe Kiari Gazama, SCN.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever has a beginning has a necessary end. Now that we are about to draw the curtains and end this very August event, although we are not in the month of August, it is my honor and privilege to appreciate everyone. You will agree with me that the most urgent duty is to appreciate people. And of course, appreciation, if you don't make it, it can be likened to wrapping a very beautiful gift without delivering it. And having said this, permit me to first of all appreciate God the Almighty, the omnipotent, omniscient, omnisufficient, and omnipresent God, who has permitted us by his grace and blessings to be here and to have a very, very successful outing. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, though not here, is ably represented by the Special Advisor to the President, Dr. Fashoranti, not Dr. Fashua, Dr. Tope Fashua, whom I knew very well. I appreciate you, sir, for representing His Excellency. I appreciate the able Secretary to the State Government representing the governor, who is not here, but because he cherishes this event, he has sent him to lead a powerful delegation at this event. Your Royal Highnesses, the Chairman of the Traditional Council, the Chairman of this event, Your Royal Majesty Oba Olu Falae, I appreciate you. That takes us to His Excellency, the keynote speaker, who is a very good friend. And I remember meeting him within the first 2 years when he became governor of Oyo State. And for those who do not know, he's a very ardent and very good golfer. I remember that we played golf and he defeated me long time ago in Ibadan. But having said this, there is something I want to tell you. Great speakers are not born. A great speaker is made from passion, by way of preparation, and also by way of purpose. And that is what you stand for. We appreciate you for inspiring us this morning and this afternoon. Thank you, sir. Of course, I appreciate even all the discussants. Your words were well spoken, but we have felt your words. We appreciate you, including the gentleman, Dr. Festus, who was just conscripted because one of the speakers did not come this morning. We appreciate all your majesties. In fact, looking at the topic and the theme, the roles of traditional institutions in Nigeria is not only meant for Akure Kingdom, but for the entirety of this country, because we have listened to a very beautiful treatise from His Excellency, and we have just requested for a soft copy so that we can adore it, use it, share it, so that everyone can benefit from that wonderful presentation, sir. God bless you, sir. We appreciate all our special guests. We appreciate all your majesties, your royal highnesses, KBSCs who are all here. And of course, to members of the planning committee, ably led by my good friend here, Honorable Femi Meshe, and all the members of the Colloquium committee, all I will tell you is that an individual can only achieve a little, but as a group, we can achieve a lot. That is why this event has been very, very successful. So I appreciate everyone, too numerous to mention name by name, but God has seen all of you and all the efforts you have made, because without you, we cannot even have this program. So in this connection, and in this regard, I have been mandated to present some beautiful plaques to our keynote speaker. Let us have it. Can I invite my chairman? I cannot do without you. Please come here. Mr. Chairman, hurriedly come here. Thank you. Your Excellency, on behalf of On behalf of all of us, from His Royal Majesty down the ladder, the Planning Committee Chairman, and all of us as Colloquium Committee members, we present this beautiful plaque to Your Excellency because of the wonderful presentation you did here, not just through someone, but in person, because you cherish this event. Don't look at the cost of this, look at the words on it, so that each time you have a reflection on this, you remember this day that you made us proud, and we all appreciate you. God bless you, sir. May we seize this opportunity to also present to our speakers, our discussants, who have done us proud despite the short notice. This is to Dr. Festus. This is Professor Afe. Yes, I can see Festus by my side. This is to Professor Adedayo Afe. God bless you, sir. Yes, this is another very good gentleman who is a force to be reckoned with, not only in Ondo State, but nationally. My very close friend and younger brother, Chief Dr. Kayode Ajulo, SAN, OON, the Barr of Akure Kingdom. Thank you very much. Well, Professor Ambassador Igali is not here, but if he has a representative, okay, the registrar will collect. Okay, I understand that the registrar of FUTA will collect on his behalf. So this is to His Excellency Ambassador, who did us proud, and please make sure we get his paper and circulate to all our attendees at this very important conference. God bless you, sir. Now, this one is for our own very eloquent discussant who was conscripted at short notice, and he did very well. I listened to him also from the beginning to the end. His contribution was very, very courageous. God bless you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Just as we're about to bring the program to a close, Your Excellencies, our KBSCs and other distinguished guests, we have just one more thing to do, and that, of course, is the group photograph. So members of the reserved seat will kindly step forward. The discussants will join them, and of course, the chairman of the planning committee will also join them. And after the group photograph, we take the Akure anthem, and everything comes to a close. So let's have the group photograph now. KBSCs, Your Excellencies, please kindly step forward for the group photograph, and we can move to the final anthem for the day. Thank you. It's been a good day, and let's have the Akure anthem to bring everything to a close. And please make a way for His Excellency to get out of the hall. The Akure anthem, please. The Akure anthem to close the event. The Emeralds, Oyo, the Akure anthem to close the event. Akure anthem, please.